Hello, my name is Pat Bohse, and I will be the host today for Welcome to SCAN. SCAN stands for Social Community Activity Network, and we're really, really pleased to be here and provide these wonderful informational TV segments for the population to learn from and also maybe come visit us. Today our guest is David Eisenstein, who is the Director of Purplearn. David has over 25 years in public-private education. I had the pleasure of meeting him indirectly through our for our Boscov classes.
Oh, yes.
And then also for us to talk about our signature program, which is brain health and also healthy aging. And so we're hoping to be able to work closely with you in the near future. So you bring to us a wealth of practical knowledge, which I love, versus theory, in regards to the Purplearn. We're going to talk a little more about that. And then also you are the expert in cooperative learning and dynamic and engaging individuals, and also a dynamic instructor. So welcome.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
So what I'd like to do before we get started about brain health, because it's my favorite topic, and I'm so excited because as I've been at SCAN for 2 years, 2.5 maybe, and it became just so obvious that SCAN has always practiced brain health. Everything that we do pretty much conforms to the definition of keeping the brain healthy, and I'm just so excited that our members have been investing in themselves for all of these years to stay connected and to stay engaged. So I'm excited. So tell me a little bit about you and your company, and how did you come up with Purplearn now that you're wearing the appropriate color today?
Well, let's start with that. I started teaching a long time ago in South Central Los Angeles in the middle of what was then a war zone. And I started with a very nice lady next to me who it turned out we had a lot in common, and she always encouraged me to go beyond the walls of the classroom. And I told her if I ever started a company, an educational company, I would name it after her. And her favorite color was purple.
Perfect.
So I actually wanted to have Purplearn, 2 words, but it turned out some company in England already had that. So I smushed it together and made Purplearn.
Okay, and then tell us about the company and what it does, and again, why you?
Well, I started off in Los Angeles, as I mentioned, and I got lucky. In LA at the time, they were teaching teachers cooperative learning techniques. And it turned out that that was the best thing in the world for working with these underprivileged children. And so it worked, and my class went smoothly. As a first-year teacher teaching a bunch of basically gangbangers, I was whistling as I went home. And ever since then, I've tried to refine and come up with a better way of doing the cooperative learning. And then maybe 15 years ago, I started doing some research on people who were a little older than the children I was working with. And it turns out that the cooperative social education is the best thing in the world for your brain. And so I started getting interested in this. I said, you know, maybe there's something to this. And I had done some, well, basic preliminary work with my own family. My grandfather needed some help and was afraid that he was forgetting too many things. And I started him on a program, and we worked together, and before you knew it, he told me at least that he was doing better. And my grandmother confirmed that, said, you know, oh yeah, he didn't forget to get the milk this time. And that really turned me in that direction.
Talk a little bit about social education. I'm loving the phrase, because here at SCAN, I think that we've been challenged with how do we describe what we do, because we're not really continuing education, and we're not an education institution, but social education makes perfect sense to me. So tell me what that means.
Sure. Well, social education, as I've been using it for a number of years now, is the combination of having fun with your friends and learning. And again, that combination is the most potent one that they have thought of at this point to combat dementia.
So recently you had done a workshop for us, I think whether at Bosco or here, and I was told that we had almost 28 people show up and that they were participating in your activity, which I would love for you to describe, and they had a hoot. I mean, they were laughing and they were engaged and they left and they wanted more. So what does that look like when you do one of your type workshops?
Well, the first thing that I try and do is get people with an old and a new friend. We want them to be comfortable, but we also want them to open up a little bit to the possibility of having fun with some new people. So we seat them in groups of 4, and they get to meet somebody and participate in some intellectual, social, and sometimes even very light physical challenges with those people. And one of the first things I love to do is to have them think of unusual uses for, say, a ladder. And whereas most people would say, well, I'm going to use it to climb up and change a light bulb, that's fine. But the more creative people are going to say, well, if there's a hole in the ground, I can put it over the hole and use it as a bridge. And the artistic might say, if I hold it up to the wall, I could paint a straight line with it. So, of course, there's all kinds of things. And to get people divergently thinking outside the box is wonderful. And to do it with a friend and enjoying yourself and having a good time is even better.
And I hear they get points for the most creative concept that they come up with.
That also comes from my experience as a school teacher. To motivate the children, it's one thing to have them enjoying themselves, and that's self-motivating, but everybody loves a little competition. So I started developing this point system, and I brought it into the program that I have now. And it's fun. At the end, there's a winner, and they just get a little recognition more than anything else. Not like we're giving away cruises or something.
We might, though, at some point. We'll see if we get someone to donate one.
Yeah, there you go.
But that's really exciting. So how do you see Purplearn and SCAN being a good fit?
Well, I've heard you talk about social education as well and brain health, and that's what we're all about. The problem is that the population is aging, and it costs a ton of money to take care of people with dementia. And there's very little in the way of prevention. And really, everything you're doing at SCAN is right on. It's perfect. I mean, you want to get people sitting there playing the guitar together. That will help their brain. Just engaging in any kind of activity together with friends or even what used to be strangers is exactly what you need.
So the other thing, maybe you can explain it a little more, is for brain health. I mean, if you do something that is repetitive and you do it and you're comfortable with it, it's not really challenging your brain.
Right.
It's just an activity. But if you have a diversion from that, and you had mentioned to me that if you're writing left
Exactly.
with your left hand, that the brain now has to work a lot harder to keep it alert. So what are some of the other kinds of things one can do?
And it's not just harder, it's differently.
Right.
Because although, honestly, I don't think I could write very well left-handed, that's a perfect example because you get so comfortable in doing things. And the way the brain researchers like to make an analogy is one of a chasm that's already cut into a big plain by a river. And having that chasm is like your fissures in your brain, the pathways, and they're all set. Well, if something blocks the river and it has to take a new path, then it cuts a new chasm. And then by having a lot of those, if there's a big blockage, you can go right around it. So they think, and honestly, as you said, I'm a practitioner, I'm an educator, I don't have any letters after my name. But the big brain researchers out there think that the more pathways you have and the more different ways you can get around things, the more protected you are should something happen and maybe that same pathway isn't there anymore. And that's how they feel now at least, that it's what happens with dementia, is that maybe one of the pathways degrades and it doesn't work, and then people don't know how to go around it.
So how I see this really in action, and again, I did not observe your class, but I got great feedback, is that last November, SCAN had its first Total Brain Health Fair.
Yes.
And when it first came up or put on my table to look at, I was saying, yeah, I'd like to do that, but I never really got into it a lot until we decided that it was a go. We worked with Dr. Cynthia Green,
Yes.
who is pretty much renowned in regards to brain fitness or brain health, and so she was one of our keynote speakers. But and we had very little lecture. I mean, again, I think sometimes the brain can only take so much of the spoken word.
Sure.
But then we had 15 interactive stations throughout SCAN and the mall. And the stations were, we had jugglers, and when we talked about that, I had no idea what the heck that would look like. I mean, I'm thinking of jugglers throwing those big pins around. I'm saying that's a little scary to me. But we had, the juggler was balancing feathers and or scoffs, and so it really gave people a workout.
Yes.
Both physically and mentally, because they had to do something different that they never did before. We had cartoonists, so you had to make cartoons and develop cards, and we had computers, of course computers, and we know that there's a lot of computer games in this whole world of brain health. But people are so challenged by that, and that's really good. The
Right.
more challenging I think we do to the brain, the better it stays fit. Is that true?
Sure. And let me talk about the computers and things for a minute. I'm a big fan, I really am. I think you should go online and play the brain games, and Dr. Green has her thing in a box, and those things are wonderful, but I call that homework. Because you could do that at 3 in the morning in your PJs and whenever you want, and it's good for your brain, of course, and the more different and challenging it is, the better. What I do, I call classwork, because it has to be with other people, and it contains that social component that's so important. I feel bad sometimes when somebody tells me, oh, my mother stays home all the time and doesn't go out. And they don't realize that just that is really affecting her brain, and unfortunately, she's not able to get that positive social interaction that the brain needs to be healthy.
Yes.
So it's a combination for the classwork of the intellectual, different thinking challenges, and creativity, as well as the interaction between people, that social interaction.
And so I guess those are the holy grail, so to speak, of the three pieces that should be in play so to keep one's brain healthy. I do think that at SCAN we offer all three.
You do?
And I do think we do it regularly. We'd like to do it more, and we like to do it more in the community versus people not only having to come to us, but we'd like to go to them. So it's one of our signature programs that we're engaging in. We, again, because we are not funded by anyone but ourselves and raising dollars, and our members have been fabulously supportive, that we're looking for additional dollars with grants or gifts to do those kinds of things. But I do think that we are probably the future model as far as a national model.
I think so.
For people to be engaged in regards to having a good time. And I think we keep losing sight of that. We all need to be with other people and also understanding what it takes to keep the brain fit. So I'm excited about that. And I do know that you're going to work with us a lot closer.
Yes.
And become part of our family, which is lovely. So welcome.
Thank you.
And I think that we'll be offering a lot more of these kinds of opportunities and challenges. But as we go further, I mean, where else do you do some of your work, and who else do you associate with? I mean, I know that you have been doing some work with Dr. Ross, who's been a friend to SCAN in the past too.
Well, Dr. Ross is one of the preeminent guys for treatment. Obviously, as a doctor, he does medicine, and he's involved with a lot of the cutting-edge medicines and the trials. We do prevention. So yes, I mean, he's love him to death, and I wouldn't be here without him, but it's a whole, separate issue of it. One thing that we do, which is a way to, as you say, you're always looking for funding, we work with corporations and businesses where they have some kind of need for team building or to get their members working cooperatively with each other, or even just to have happier and healthier employees. We go in and we do what we do for the company, and they find that they've enjoyed themselves for the day, and it's a good way to, as you say, get a few extra dollars here or there.
So we might become a member of your team versus vice versa.
There you go.
That sounds good.
But I love working with SCAN because my biggest thing is that this is important. I don't think anybody should ever say, I didn't help my brain because I couldn't afford it. And to have a nonprofit like yourself out there where, it's a few dollars or whatever it is, I don't know the exact amount to belong, but
30, it's very
well, there you go.
reasonable.
And you get all this, and nobody can say, I can't afford that. And if they can't, I'll pay for it.
Yeah. And we're really trying to do a lot more engaging stuff versus, again, just classes. I mean, our classes are wonderful, and our teachers are incredibly talented. But in the same token, I find that when members to members get together, they have a great time. I mean, our general membership meetings are becoming much more interactive. We're also breaking bread, so people love to, I think the keys to success that I've always said is free, cheap, and food.
Right.
So if you want to have a really good event, make sure there's food. And people like, to be able to participate and it not be always a dollar issue. So that's exciting. So we have a couple more minutes. I just want to spend a little more time on your company, because I know that you'll be a member of our family, but tell us a little more about the business of Purplearn.
Well, at this point in time, we've gotten in good with Brookdale Community College, so we'll be working with them and offering our program through them to senior communities and assisted living facilities. Basically, everything we do is based around the same program, which is social cooperative learning. How we do it depends on the group we're with. Some groups are a little more physically active, so we're able to incorporate very light physical challenges, but as you say, a little exercise is important as well.
Yeah.
And we do have an office in Red Bank. But most of the people who need individual help, we send to physicians like Dr. Ross because, we're not equipped to handle the people who are already at the stage where they need treatment. So we're hoping that some kind of thing like what you do at SCAN and what we do can be, like you say, the future of taking care of yourself.
So we have about 1 more minute left. Is there anything else that you would like to share with the audience in regards to Purplearn, and anything coming up in the near future that people might be looking for you to attend?
Well,
don't we have something coming up?
We do, and this summer there's going to be another class at Brookdale, and we're going to be back at Boskov, and we're going to be offering our program here. So we're all over. Come to the website. We have a list of where we're going to be and what's doing up on the purplearn.com site. So.
Perfect. So I would like to just tell our audience that this is a topic that's really near and dear to my heart, and also to the SCAN family. If you want to learn more about it, please feel free to stop into SCAN. We're here Monday through Friday, and we'll give you a tour. We'll give you some wonderful entertainment and opportunities to use your brain, stretch your brain, and get some new brain cells operating. So please feel free to come and see us. We're really excited about that. So we have to break at this point in time, but I would like to thank you very much, David, for being our guest.
My pleasure.
And also staying with us, and we'll do a lot of new things in the future. Again, we'll be taking a break and be right back.
Take it from me. Living with a chronic disease is no easy task, but I learned to better manage my health condition, and you can too. Take Control of Your Health is the chronic disease self-management program created by Stanford University. This fun, innovative course is now offered to all county residents. Diabetes, arthritis, heart disease, cancer. Take Control of Your Health gives proven strategies to manage these conditions and reclaim your life. See how nutrition, exercise, and various mind techniques can help you overcome depression, increase energy, and manage pain. You'll not only get this book when you participate, you'll also receive the guidance and support of others living with a chronic illness, just like you. Take control of your health in 6 short sessions.
Call the number on your screen to register or get further information at scannj.com. Brought to you by SCAN, Social Community Activities Network, with funding made available by the Monmouth County Office on Aging.
Welcome back. My name is Pat Bohse, and I am here with Andrea Tarr, who is the Program Director for SCAN, and we're here to share a lot of great new programs that are coming on schedule for the next several months. So welcome.
Hey Pat, how are you?
I'm good. I'm excited. We have so many things going on that I don't know what day it is and where we're going. So share some of the stuff that's happening.
Yeah, in no particular order.
No particular order.
It doesn't really matter. Well, first of all, our Healthy Aging Expo will be on May 14th. You know, every year we have our annual expo in the mall. And we generally about 40 vendors, and that'll be like the area in the mall in front of Macy's. And that runs, I guess, around 11 to 3. And the public is welcome. I think it's always a great event.
Yeah, I'm excited because this is probably my 3rd one, so I'm a pro now at this.
Right.
And we're trying to have some new exciting vendors or participants in regards to having more information. Besides the health screenings that are being provided by Monmouth Medical Center, we're hoping to also have some people who provide the portable equipment for people who might need that.
Yep.
Also, a lot of the other services that might be available for people to absolutely stay in their homes and to be comfortable, whether it's with, appropriate meals and or in-home services. So I'm excited about that. I think we'll have lots of gifts or giveaways this year.
Oh, yes, always.
And I think that we are doing it in cooperation and in conjunction with the Office on Aging, which I'm just so excited about.
Yeah, so am I.
So they are going to be working with us closely and help promote the event. And we're also going to be working with some of the stores in the mall so that someone who comes, we're inviting you all to come, but when you come here, you'll have a great time.
Yeah, it's always a wonderful event. I have to say, I think we do a really good job on the health fair. So
what else do we have on the
kudos to us.
agenda?
Well, let's see. On May 27th, we have one of our membership meetings,
Which is becoming a big deal.
I know, in a good way. In a good way, a big deal. It is
So
a big
they're
deal.
open to anybody.
Yes.
I think that we're trying to get some keynote speakers, maybe from the Sheriff's Office on scams, and then we provide a free lunch from a variety of different places. So again, that'll be in our not necessarily catalog, but we'll talk a little bit about our new programming system.
Yes. But that will be part of our spring-summer semester. That's the spring-summer membership meeting. And our spring-summer semester runs through August 1st. And I just want to emphasize that anyone can still join a class, even if it's already in progress. We'll prorate it. So there's never an issue as far as that goes.
So let's talk about it now that our semester is, again, May to the beginning of August.
1st, yeah.
And we're looking to do a variety of new classes, which we'll share in a minute. But we're not going to be doing a traditional catalog this particular summer, spring-summer semester.
Right.
And we're hoping to advertise all of our classes in the Asbury Park Press.
Similar to how we do it for Boscov.
So we're hoping to take out a full-page ad so
Yeah.
the world will know that we're here, we're
Right.
well and kicking, and we have all of these things to offer. So we're hoping that that goes well. And then we're hoping to introduce probably a newsletter twice a year to provide content to our members and to our prospects.
Right, that'll kind of fill in the gap of not having the catalog. Yeah, there'll be a lot of static information in there.
And I'm excited about that.
But in this new spring-summer semester, we'll have a lot more of these one-and-done kind of classes, again, similar to Boscov. And I'm hoping that some of the best of Boscov, maybe that's what I'll call it, the best of Boscov will also be incorporated into our semester. and we can probably even do them a few different times. So
Yep.
that'll be great.
And we're probably going to do some evening hours and Saturday classes.
Yeah, we'll definitely do some evenings, just like we do at Boscov. Something else that we've started, which I think is going to be great, it's called our Backstage Pass series. And this is really fun. We kind of worked on this together. Our first one is with the Two River Theater. And of course, anyone could go to the theater, get a ticket, see the show, and leave. But we wanted to give you a little something extra. So what we're doing is the Backstage Pass series. It's kind of like our Lunch and Learn, but it's more of a dessert and learn. We're not going to do lunch. And at the theater, for example, we'll have dessert and coffee. They'll do an interesting presentation. And we'll get to go behind the scenes. We'll go backstage, maybe in the prop room, meet some of the people who work at the theater. You know, the kind of things that you would rarely have the opportunity to get to, which would be very, very cool.
And so we're excited about that. And what are the other two? Because time's running out.
Yes. Another one will be at Monmouth Park, which will be a lot of fun to go to the track, again, behind the scenes. And another one is Salt Studios in Asbury Park. It's a photography studio. We're going to kind of set up a whole shoot. You could come as a photographer, as a model, or just as an observer. It's going to be excellent.
Fun. Okay. And what's our new thing as far as meetups?
Yes, well, we have our meetup underway. You can just go to meetup.com and look up Social Community Activities Network. We have lots of members. We put a lot of our classes out on the meetup, but we also have some special things just for the meetup members. So I just want to emphasize, join the meetup. It's free, and you'll have access to a lot of our scan information there.
And the other thing that we did this year, and I'm not even sure a lot of our members know about it, but if you become a member of SCAN, this is a new member benefit.
Yeah.
You'll be able to go to any and all of Boscov classes free.
And that turned out to be huge.
Very big for us. And so our class is coming up in the fall, which is September, October.
Yeah.
Any SCAN member can go free, and then also, as long as their membership is active, they can go in the winter when we have the other series.
Right.
So that's really exciting. I'm always looking for ways to have people want to join us and participate with us. We have about 30 seconds left. Any last-minute words of wisdom?
Come visit us, come call us.
Take a tour.
Sit in on a class for free.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're really excited about SCAN and the direction that we're going in. So we're hoping that you stop in. We're in the Monmouth Mall, in the basement of the Monmouth Mall. And we always have something going on, and there's always someone here who will be more than happy to show you around and make you feel comfortable, especially if you're recently retired or considering it, or just really want to learn new things about cameras as far as TV shows. So hope to see you soon. Thank you very much.
How to locate SCAN. SCAN is easy to locate once you find the movie theater at Monmouth Mall. As you enter the parking lot from Route 35, the theater is almost directly ahead of you. Drive towards the theater, but go up along the left side into the parking lot. As you approach the end, you will see entrance number 3 on your right. Park and enter the building here. Once inside, you will see a staircase that only goes down. After passing through the doors at the bottom, turn to your left, and SCAN is right there.